Since 1964, the Sports Car Club of America's National Championship Runoffs has been the single most important amateur auto race in the nation. This weekend, almost 600 competitors will fight for a medal in what has been called the Olympics of auto racing. This is where professional racing careers are launched. This is where legacies are born. This is the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Garmin-Verb. The chase for the championships for the Sports Car Club of America continues. At Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, it is time for the 53rd running of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Garmin-Verb. I'm Greg Creamer, joined by Dorsey Schrader here in the booth, and we are teeing up and getting ready for STU. That Super Touring Under is the nomenclature. And again, as are all of the runoffs races here for these championships, 23 laps or 40 minutes should they run a bit long. There is a time a limit on it. And Dorsey, one of the great things about Sports Car Club of America competition is the variety of machinery. And you go from open wheel to full bore GT cars to cars that are virtually stock. And then you've got these groups in the middle here like STU. You can do some modifications and some work on the cars, and as a result, they're smaller cars, but man, they produce some performance.
Yeah, they're not a full-blown tube car, but they are allowed a lot of modifications that make them a very, very good race car, a purpose-built car, if you will. And they should be very competitive, but there are a lot of different body styles. You'll see things from like the Lotus Exige and Honda Prelude, Civics, Scions, the Pontiac Solstice. We saw Don Knowles drove that a few years ago. BMWs in here, Volkswagens, Nissans. It's all there.
Variety is the spice of life.
There
no
you
question
have it.
Here. And let's take a look now. You're going to enjoy this. This is our Garmin-Verb Lap of Mid-Ohio. And in STU, you're on board with Oscar Jackson, who will start from the 6th spot in his Jackson Racing BF Goodrich Tires Scion FRS. Busy guy this weekend, running in a couple of classes. And here we go, up toward turn 1.
Yep, up the front straightaway he goes, sets up for turn 1, a very high-speed left-hand corner. An important corner because it leads to the second longest straightaway on the circuit. As you see here, we go up. We're not using the chicane that has been used in the past, so we'll run all the way up to the keyhole. Very tricky corner that you can approach from different angles, if you will. It falls down off the hill, and it's a very important corner because it leads on the back straightaway, the longest straightaway here. You come out of that typically in second gear, some cars first gear, and you'll run all the way through the gearbox and up to the top speed your car can go as you approach the turn 4 brake zone. One of the best places to make a pass, just like this. To the inside he moves. Then you get to madness. This is a lot of fun here because you go up this hill, over the brow of the hill, car gets light, you power down. This next corner, this right-hander is an off-camber right, and the car doesn't want to get gripped there. You see right there, he wrestles the wheel. Car actually jumps off the ground right here, and you land and have to brake at a diagonal. It's kind of tricky to do. As you hit turn 11 here, up over the top of this, most cars will lift the wheels. You can hear the engines wind up there. This next corner, this left-hander, completely blind approach. You see the 100 on the wall there, but that's a really tricky corner, and it's off camber at the exit. Car wants to push out into the grass, and that leads you onto the carousel, which is a 180 right-hander, but a bunch of pavement changes make the grips really different there. Just flick to the left, and right there is your checker flag.
And that is your Garmin-Verb Lap of Mid-Ohio for STU. Standing down in pit lane, Jeff Lepper. What else have you got about this fun class?
Well, that's right, Greg. Super Touring Under, 3.2 liters or under. You can have normally aspirated, turbocharged, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, sequential transmission. It's really the hotbed of the tuner category cars here racing at the SCCA Runoffs. But I can't count out John Schmidt in that Honda Civic. He won at Daytona where power was a factor. Handling here, though, so Cameron McGurry on the pole in that Krug Speed Lotus Exige. It's going to see how this is going to play out. Will it be the supercharged rear-wheel drive Elise or the front-wheel drive Hondas for the win here in STU today?
Yeah, exactly. That's that great variety we were talking about. And we've seen, that Krug Speed team showed up at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the Crowley World Challenge and put that car in the touring car pole. So it's got some serious speed. But Max Gee, a great story here. And if anybody's got track knowledge.
Yeah, he's a good buddy of mine, and he works at the driving school, at the Mid-Ohio Driving School. His father runs the driving school, Sonny, and they built that car right here at this racetrack. It's a front-wheel drive Honda. And this is the first runoff for Max. He was on the pole, and he let the Lotus behind him and unfortunately towed him away to a 1,000 victory. So he lost the pole position, but he doesn't want to lose this race. It's a front-wheel drive car, but it doesn't have power steering. I drove that.
Ooh.
The thing's, it's really hard on the old arms, but he's a young guy and he's tough, so he'll make it.
He'll make it work. John Schmidt, that you heard Jeff talk about, the defending champion, starts third in the number 92. Then Joe Mosier, who's already had a race today and ended up leading for most of the race and got passed on the final lap. He's got, I'm sure, some unfinished business that he wants to take care of here. And then Oscar Jackson is, I said, a very busy guy. And he's also Super Sweep eligible. And Super Sweep means you've won the nationwide national points championship. You've won a championship in one of the 5 conferences. And you've also won one of a variety of key event, majors events. And then you just have to do one last little thing and win the runoff.
Yeah, just one little thing. For Max, he's under a different type of pressure altogether because, of course, working at the driving school, he is under the tutelage of one Brian Till and Tommy Byrne. And Tommy's here this weekend, and they will give him a rough time.
I was going to say, both are merciless.
Oh, absolutely.
If you don't, yeah. And back in the order just a little bit, starting in the 10th spot, the number 19 Scion FRS with Replay XD right along the side and air now. That is the son of a guy that you've got a lot of experience with because you raced against his team a lot back in the Trans Am days. It's name we're talking about is Brad McCall, son of Buzz McCall.
I saw Buzz yesterday and talked to him about it. Yeah, his son's now racing, and that they'll be keen to have him do well here at the Runoffs. Buzz, of course, ran a Trans Am team for Ron Fellow, for everybody. That was the Chevrolet team.
It was.
Of course, I was a Ford guy, so we're still friends, though.
We're still friends. Yeah, that's right. Fellows and Baldwin and all those guys ran for him at some point.
Scotty Sharp.
And he actually said, he came back to club racing. He's been racing the car, used to run in Rally World Challenge GTS, running here. And he said, I got my first race win in 33 years this year. He said,
he runs with us. He runs with us, and his son does, too, over at HSR, too, in historic sports car racing. So I've seen Buzz quite a bit. And Jack Baldwin, the driver that drove for him, also runs over there occasionally.
Well, and the team is the GT Sport that Baldwin and his group put together that are still fielding the cars. So some great connections here to the past and to current racing as well. There you see Magari, and it's a neat story. I mean, he's in that number 72 car, only his second runoffs, 22 years old, and put it on pole and looking for great things as this day unfolds, but he's got a hungry pack that is going to be chasing him here as we get ready to start 23 laps of competition in STU. Watch for that pace car to make its exit. There it goes, and now it's up to that front row and the starter.
Max is on this racetrack almost every day. It's tight, Greg.
Well, if he can stay put, I mean, he knows you can make that outside move, but look at Moser trying to force the issue. That was a great move coming from fourth, looking for second.
Max on the outside, sticks it, gives up first place. I'm going to lose to Moser, too.
Yeah, Moser's sweeping wide, but that gives him the inside down here into 6.
Now, you want to get straight nose to tail off this corner, otherwise everybody will be slowed significantly.
No, just have that.
Oh, still sideways. Max, good save. He's not done saving yet, though.
Good first half of the save.
Drops it
I think he's got a cut tire.
I think he does, too. They might be over.
Something's gone, yeah.
They might have clanged wheels and shaved the top core off.
Unbelievable. Especially your home track to have that happen first lap. That'll gut you.
That's his very first runoff attempt.
So leading, there is your pole sitter, Cameron Najari, then Moser. Boy, what an aggressive launch by Moser, going from fourth, fighting hard for second. And Oscar Jackson up from sixth into third, too. He had a tremendous start.
I think he might have got into it with Moser. I thought I saw a tire mark on the side of Moser's car right there. Not sure. It could be an older thing, too.
And defending champion Schmidt slots back now into the 4th spot. And Charles Tobel, the number 4, now completes your top 5. And the other Lotus Exige in the field of David Brand now sitting right there in the 6th spot. He lost 1 spot in that start. See him at the back of this queue of 6.
You would think the Lotus would have the handling edge for sure here. Yeah. That's a really good handling car. Maybe not so much the most power.
This is a pass or an attempt for that 3rd and final podium spot.
Bounces off the curb, didn't do himself any favor there.
Yeah, Schmidt trying to get around Oscar Jackson for 3rd. Now Schmidt's just going to straight line down into 6, and Oscar really had no defense there.
See, there's a yellow out back there, which means probably Max is pulled off. somewhere up ahead here.
Oh, we're full course.
Oh, we're full course yellow. Sure enough.
That's why everybody's suddenly trying to shuffle positions again.
And the only thing that we've seen is Max Gee with what we suspect is a flat tire, but we don't know that for sure.
Well, maybe as opposed to a flat. I just saw the right
there
front
he is.
corner.
He stopped on course.
I saw the right front corner down. It may not be a flat tire, maybe a broken suspension.
Yeah, it might be.
He can't drive.
I don't think he would park there.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shame. Local guy, home track. Yeah, I don't know. I think something broke too. They probably did bang wheels though, because it was pretty tight quarters.
Very, very tight quarters indeed. And I think we're going to see, David Brand had actually made a pass, and I think he realized that the full course had come out, and he backed it back down again, I think. And the corner worker now just trying to get the car at least off the track.
Going to stick it behind the wall back here if he can.
Boy, it's rolling okay though, Dorsey.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's just a driveline failure.
Something strange there.
Here comes the flat toe, as they call it. And when you see the corner workers,
get him back to the pits, and then Jeff can ask him what's happened here.
Yeah, when you see the corner workers with their arms just outstretched.
Oh, corner worker just fell down.
He had a tumble there, but that means that he's signaling for what they call a flat toe, that the car is mobile. It doesn't need a wrecker or a tilt bed.
Must be a gravitational issue in that corner.
It could well be.
Go tow him back, and Mr. Lepper can have a word there and see what's going on with this Honda. What a shame.
Yeah, we're going to try and get another look at what may have happened here, because
I never saw them hit, but you know, we're just assuming that they were so close in proximity to one another.
Well, he suddenly radically slowed for sure. See, it looks to me like it's still down on the right side a little bit. So, yeah, interesting.
It's rolling okay, though.
Yeah, it sure is.
We'll know shortly, I suppose.
So the field bunched up under the caution here. And Brand doing a nice job in that yellow load. Here's another look at it.
Gets out here. No contact with anybody there.
No, clear there. Right there.
Yeah, it might have got tapped there. Something broke.
Yeah. It just absolutely snapped sideways violently.
Yeah, I think. I don't think anybody touched him. I think he just.
Yep, I think so too.
Something
broke. So, wow, that is just a shame for somebody who really had a tremendous shot at not only a podium but a winner. I mean, Mijari was on pole in the Lotus, a 1 minute 34.30. Guy, a 1:34.37.
Yeah,
that's how close it was. Third place, Schmidt, a 1:34.48. Moser, 1:34.64.
Go back to green here.
Top six covered by just a little over half a second. That's how close it is. And you're right, we are back at it here in STU at the SCCA Runoffs presented by Garmin Verb. And again, an aggressive look right off the drop by John Schmidt, that fourth place car. That's the Honda Civic with the white sides and the red and white hood. Looks to the left again. Moser looking down to the inside of Mijari.
Oh, and he's got his nose almost in there. Mijari's Lotus should be really, really good on these handling issue part of the racetrack, but I don't know about straightaway speeds, and you're seeing it right now.
Well, Moser's got straight line. We saw that out of this car in the earlier one. Here he comes, just up along the inside. But the Lotus, as you talked about, I'm surprised. I kind of thought the Lotus could float the outside maybe here, and as a result, you've got Oscar having a look at it.
Oh, and he's getting rubbed on a little bit at the back there.
And Schmidt has been really aggressive right off the go here. Well, that's how you win championships.
Yeah, it's a sprint race for sure. You got to go.
Yeah, and he got it done.
Moser pulling away, it looks like.
Well, and that's what we saw from Joe in the E-Prod race. He just drove away for a while, but then the better balanced Miata came back at him. He doesn't want to see that happen again. Meanwhile, let's check in with Jeff in pit lane.
Down here with Max Gee, and there's no fire in the car. It's an electrical problem or a mechanical issue. They don't quite know what it is. They're checking with the power box, looking back at the battery. He said he just lost fire back there in turn number 6.
What a shame.
Well, you can see, I mean, obviously when you're at full load in a corner and
Yeah, it
everything shuts off, it reacts like something just snapped, because all of that weight transfer we were talking about goes wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah, you got a handful with that, and like I said, that's front-wheel drive, and it does not have power steering, so it's pretty hard, Armstrong steering.
Yeah. Here comes Schmidt down to the inside. Jackson trying to follow through, and he may have made that work.
He did make it work.
Boy, Majari goes from first to second last lap and second to fourth potentially on this lap. That was opportunistic by Jackson.
Yeah, he saw him. He saw the gap was there, and if you can stay close enough to the guy's bumper, you can come with him. Sure enough, made that work. But down here,
making it stick. Now he's going to try and out-deep him into 4. And he gets pretty clearly by.
Scion did a good job. I would think the Lotus would have superior braking.
You would think so.
Because it's lighter weight.
It's one of those deals, obviously, what tires are you running? Did you make any kind of a setup change? Or has all the rubber that we've seen from a bunch of races previous today affecting the setups on some of these cars?
That's a very good point, Greg. I mean, we've had 5 races or 6 races, all different types of rubber out there. Not all of those rubber compounds get along with each other. And this could definitely play into it.
Last time through, Moser had a gap of a little over a second back to Cameron. Now, of course, it'll be back to John Schmidt, and we'll see what that margin is. I don't think it's going to be much over that, but perhaps a little as they come through, head down into turn 1. Yeah, 1.2 seconds now. And there's Majari again. It was had that pole, and it's just slipped backwards a little bit. And now we had that caution that ran for, I think, about 3 laps for these cars, especially the front drive cars that are asking so much out of those front tires. That has, in a way, helped them. It allows them to run just that little bit harder, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have enough heat in the tires yet to really make much of a difference, but that just did give them like 4 laps of freebies.
Sitting in that 5th spot is the number 4 of Charles Tobel, up from 7th on the grid in the Pontiac Solstice. It's the Novi Wall Discount Tire Hoosier tired car. And Majari taking a look to try and get back underneath on Oscar Jackson. Couldn't quite get it done into 4 that time.
Look at qualifying numbers on all these cars, and it tells you how equal these cars really were. Like I said, there was 7 thousandths or 700ths of a second between first and second. So all these cars in the top 5 anyway are really tight.
Yeah, and first to 6th was covered by just about 7/10. I mean, that's pretty close. Good scrap developing here. The 34 in the BMW is Christopher Isley. He's chasing David Brand. Actually, they've dropped back just a little bit.
Top 7 all qualified within the same second.
Yeah, impressive stuff. There's the number 34. It's Italy. And he's fighting with the number 41 right now. That's Alan Ferraganio.
Pair of BMWs.
Yep.
Like I say, a little of everything out there.
It's a good variety, and this is one of those classes. It's big enough and has some good interest in it, and you can find yourself in an absolute brouhaha battle to 10th. You just find it here, yeah.
That's one of the nice things about the runoffs, actually, is that you comprise all these cars from across the United States. And no matter what position you're in, you're going to be racing for it with somebody.
And the 41 of Ferraganio up on the inside of Italy in that 34 as they head down the straight. Italy in the BMW E36, Ferraganio in the M3, side by side. Boy, and they are coming up on the 165. That's Eric Thompson.
Yeah,
Eric really struggled in qualifying. Sorry, Darcy, really struggled in qualifying, and I mean was 20 seconds off the pace, but he knew he had a much quicker car than that. And
look who's back out. Of course, he's
nice.
Many laps down, no chance of winning, but he'll have some fun anyway.
Yep.
That was our outside pole car.
It's good to have him out, exactly.
Computer issue. You can go for a track record or you can go for fastest race lap, I guess. That's about it.
Yep. Well, they do track fast laps, so working through some traffic already. What I was going to say about Eric Thompson is he had originally run in a Mazda and just couldn't find anything, so made the switch. Didn't get a qualifying time in that number 165 he's running today, but it's clearly a pretty quick car. So he's worked his way up now from dead last into 8th. Boy, that margin, Dorsey, now down to 7/10 between Moser and Schmidt.
These guys running about a second a lap off what they qualified at. And I was thinking about that late in the afternoon. Well, it's not late in the afternoon, but it's 3:30. You know, the sun being warm like it's been all weekend and all that rubber that you talked about earlier, I would think the track is probably not as fast as it was during the qualifying sessions.
I would think that's true. They did make an interesting change this year in that after polling the teams and other drivers, they scheduled the 4 qualifying sessions on each of the 4 days for whatever class you were in the same 2-hour window of when you'd be racing.
Well, that makes sense because this racetrack, well, not just this racetrack, but all racetracks, but this racetrack in particular too, changes significantly at the time of the day.
Yep.
You know, in the morning it's almost always the fastest, and then you get past noon and the sun comes and warms everything up, and you lose grip.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, I think they were trying to eliminate some of the variables because there have been times when, you know, somebody who couldn't take the entire week off, so would get here Tuesday to run Wednesday, Thursday, and his 2 sessions were later in the day, and on Monday it was an early morning session where the track was cool, the air was cool. Yeah, there's no way you're going to touch that. So
you swear you got a different car too. You know, you go there on one day and you're 2 seconds slower the next day. It's like, what happened? I didn't touch anything.
I thought that was a pretty good move by the club to say, we'll just run everybody at the same time.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So we've got, this is kind of broken into 2 separate groups here, hasn't it? We got Mosier and Schmidt, then Jackson and Majari.
Scion's got a dent in the hood, in the front bumper. So it looks like he's leaned on someone along the way.
It sure does. And then Brand now has worked his way up into 5th in the second Lotus, the number 3, then Charles Tobel in the Solstice sits in 6th.
Moser and Schmidt are working with each other right now.
Sure
they're not screwing each other up on corner entries, so they're actually pulling away now somewhat from Jackson. If they can do that toward the end, it'll be a 2-car battle instead of a 4.
And at least for Moser, at this time he's fighting with a car that is also front drive.
Yeah.
And not that Miata and E-Prod that ran him down that had such good balance.
You see that dent there in the front of the Scion.
One
of those cars misfiring.
Yeah, it sure
Can't tell
is.
which one it is. Maybe it's the Lotus.
Yeah. That might explain, if it is, why Marjorie has slipped back just a little bit.
You can definitely hear it misfiring. And now the second Lotus is catching up to the pack here.
David Brand. That's the car that the yellow one is the one from this team, Crookspeed, that made its debut up at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park and put it right on the pole. This is a very solid little operation Crookspeed has here.
Oh, and there's a spin there.
Ooh, that was Schmidt from second,
Schmidt.
I think.
I think you're right too. It was the Civic spun out of second place there.
And he's limping along. Now he's just getting going again, maybe. Yeah, that was, wow, what a development. So suddenly Oscar Jackson will find himself up into second, and Marjorie, here's a look at it.
There's something
wrong. Oh, there's
with
something
it.
wrong. That was just now, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's live, yeah. So either he's got a cut down tire or he's got a suspension problem. Looks like the left rear maybe is down.
Yeah.
Take a look at it here when he goes by.
Yeah. Oh, that's just weird.
Something definitely.
Yeah. Certainly at what he considers to be a normal race speed, the car is not happy. That's for sure. So this now is going to become the battle for the silver medal. Oscar Jackson.
Oh, Lotus gets him into one.
Oh, so close. Wisely checked up here, but Jeff Lepper, right now we've got a Krug speed 3-4.
Well, with Alex Krugman, and Alex, you know, Cameron started on the pole, dropped back a little bit, but starting to challenge back again. There's a problem with the car?
Nope, car's running great. He got a couple cars got by him. He's working his way back up. He's up to P3 now, and our other driver is P4, and a long way to go.
Well, Alex Krugman here running those 2 Lotuses here today and looking for more, trying to get his first win in SCCA Runoffs history.
Well, it does help that we all work at Pirelli.
Exactly. Oh, there's a touch.
See a little tire puff of smoke as they got wheel to wheel.
So Marguerite has gone through 22 years old. Interesting study in the team. Cameron's 22, David Brand's 65. So he's got that mentor that can work with him. And certainly I'm sure Brand is awful proud of the speed we're seeing from Cameron.
Got to watch those side-to-side tire hits because they shave the valve cores off pretty easily. And that's what we thought happened to Max Key, but that wasn't that at all. That actually shut off on him.
Well, and we've talked about it, Darcy. You certainly have about how difficult this track is to pass on. So sometimes you almost feel it.
Oh, what a slide. And a good save. That's not a power oversteer slide.
No. Yeah, that was a nice catch, though.
Good catch, yeah. Now, can McGeary run down Moser? That's the question. They're not that far apart. Let's see what kind of times we're running here.
4.5 seconds. Moser back to Mugeri. Then Jackson third, Brand fourth, Tobel fifth. Looking at lap times. Cameron last lap a 35.4. Moser's a 35.4.
So identical just about.
Of course, Jackson with that big lurid slide lost a bit, turned to 36.7. And that's allowed the number 3 team car of Cameron's close up. Oh boy, Mugeri just putting together a tremendous lap. He's got purple in the first 2 sectors. That means fastest laps turned in each of the 2 of the 3 sectors here. And now that these tires have had some laps on them and they're coming in relative to the other cars, that balance of the Lotus you were talking about might be really starting to show.
Yeah, that should be a good car. In pro racing, those cars are good.
There he is. The problem is that lead of 4.5 thereabouts seconds that Moser has. Mugeri has got to run that and get that down a little bit and start pressuring Moser. I think you said it in the last race we called. You talked about it. You don't want to give the guy a day off.
No.
You want him to work those tires. I love how you put that. Yeah. And instead it's Moser who turns it up by a couple of tenths and increases the margin.
Schmidt's got the fastest lap of the race at this point in time.
Yeah, 135. Was it a 122?
Yeah, that was a good lap. That was quite a bit earlier on.
Yeah, here he comes.
Something on that car broke. I don't know what it was, but boy, it got ugly quick.
It sure did. And Oscar Jackson not letting Mugeri get too far away from him here. That last lap, without a big lurid slide, Jackson actually went 2 tenths quicker than Mugeri. Here's Moser. Here comes Mugeri.
And we're only halfway through the race in laps, so
I think there is a little stumble.
Yeah, I heard it earlier.
Yeah.
I knew it was one of those 2 cars.
You can hear that burble every time he goes to throttle. A look there at the 95 running in the 6th spot right now of Brennan Stover. Brennan started in the 8th spot in his BMW. The guy he's chasing is the number 4. We've talked about that Pontiac Solstice, the Novi Wall Discount Tire machine of Charles Tobel out of New Hudson, Michigan. These guys are having a good scrap for the 5th spot. You know, it's interesting, if indeed there is a little bit of miss in Mugeri's car, the fact that he's able to run the laps he's running. He just won a 35 flat to Moser's 35.1. And with a car that maybe isn't quite at full song, that's impressive stuff.
Yeah. Just a little flutter, it sounds like, in that engine.
Yeah. How much of an advantage was it for Moser to be able to be out? You see the EP on the side of his car. That's what he ran a few races ago. He's got a lot more recent track knowledge than everybody else.
Yeah, he's running 2 classes of the same car, so
that can't hurt.
No, it gives you more track time. You know what to expect out of that, that's for sure. See it hike the rear wheel up in the air right there and set it back down.
By the way, Moser already, he did get a silver medal, so he's already won a medal here this weekend.
Going for gold right now.
Yeah. But it was in turn 9 where he lost the lead of the race in E-Production on the final lap.
Yeah, I just heard that stumble again. I heard it was definitely the Lotus that time. Just when he goes to the throttle, when he first cracks open the throttle, it's got a hiccup there.
It's the 165 of Eric Thompson. And this is the battle for 7th right now, chased by the 41 of Aaron Ferraganio.
She had a little puff of smoke out of that BMW. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Tire. Might be tire rub. Probably was. Right there at the exit.
Well, I'm impressed with Thompson's driver. As I said, ran a Miata earlier and just had some serious problems. Switched to this car, got a very, very slow. It wasn't healthy in the final qualifying session, and has been able to bring it up into this battle for the 7th spot, which he holds. That's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, they found something for sure after their qualifying run was not very good. They puff smoke every once in a while. I think it's tire rub, but it's done it a few different places on the racetrack.
Yeah.
Has a little look up the inside, nothing there.
Kind of an interesting thing in the ST classes, whether it's STU or STL. One of the things you can do in the cars is you can swap engines as long as it's from the same manufacturer and doesn't exceed the displacement limits. So if you've got a car you think is a better handling car, but it doesn't have enough power, you can fix that.
Yeah, you can go to a newer style engine. It's like you say, as long as it doesn't exceed the displacement limit, you can.
You can't modify it up much. You can just change it.
Yeah, change a more current version.
You hear that chirp. I mean, they are running a DOT tire, but boy, they're a different DOT tire than they used to be here in Mid-Ohio, especially. Huh?
DOT tires now, race tires, are just about as good as a slick, if not as good in some cases. And we can thank autocrossing and solo driving for that. That's where they were developed for, to get the most out of them, and it transfers right over to this. So even though it's a DOT-approved tire that you can buy off the shelf and put on your street car, it performs like a slick.
Oh, no. Brad McCall slowly down pit lane in the Replay XD Air Now machine. That's the Scion.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going with that.
Started in the 10th spot.
Still smoke from the cockpit, it looks like. It'd be brake smoke, though. Yeah, it is smoking.
Yep. Well,
but it's still running.
Looks like they might be taking it right behind the wall, though. As Moser coming around to complete lap 16 of 23.
That one's not missing.
No.
That's running good.
That is dialed.
And he's opening up his lead over Gary.
I think Cameron must have caught some traffic because the last lap he ran a really high 36. This lap right back down to a 35.1, and in fact took a half a second away from Moser's margin.
See that right rear tire hiked up in the air as it goes around. And there's Max Gee, still out there, but looks like he's going slow.
Yeah, that is not a healthy car right now.
No, I think maybe it shut off again on him.
You see the worker saying, if you pull it here, we just continue. He does. Nicely done, sir.
He knows his place. Like I say, he teaches school
Yeah.
here, so he's out there about every day in one form or another.
Moser working his way. Now he's got a report that McCall got a black flag. And we presume it was a mechanical black flag.
Yeah, I'm
Something
hearing for
going on,
noise. They actually have a
Oh, yeah.
decibel limit
Okay.
that you can't exceed, and I guess he got busted for noise, which I think is ridiculous.
It's a race car.
It's been that, yeah, exactly. But there are different tracks that we run at where we have to adhere to these limits, and obviously this must be one of them. Lime Rock's another. Portland used to really be bad about that when we'd run there.
Yep. And there you see the margin. Moser just disappearing at the bottom of the screen. There's Majari. And then Oscar Jackson, who can see him, you just can't get to him
Yeah.
right now.
I see you. If you slow up, I'll catch you.
And they're running relatively similar laps. It all changes just, if they get caught in traffic.
Well, 34.9, so they're not off that far from where they qualified. I mean,
Yeah.
8/10, 9/10 off a good lap. Which this part of the day, I would think is going pretty good.
That's not bad at all.
Because we're late in the day now, and we've had a lot of races before this. It's probably the 5th or 6th one today so far.
The top of the S's through Madness. So many direction changes on this track at apexes.
This is a hard track. I mean, this is
the hills. I mean,
a very, very technical track.
oh, look at this.
And they
Yeah.
have, there's a lot of tricks about it. If you run here all the time, like Russ Gee would have, or Max Gee, you pick up a lot of knowledge. Jumps over the curb. That might almost let the BMW in the inside there.
Yeah, that Celica is hanging right in there under that attack from the BMW. Eric Thompson. It's been an all too eventful weekend for him, I'm sure, and I think he would love to be able to come out of this with the 6th spot, but to have fended this guy off in terms of Alan Ferraganio for a long time.
One of these races have been going this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, anything could happen. We've seen last lap passes. We've seen last lap car failures. We've seen about everything at this runoffs today on the first day. It's been crazy.
Yeah, right now this is that scrap for 6, and it could easily become a top 5.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we just now are completing lap 18, so 5 to go. That's a nice sound.
Yep.
Just running it up the pipe.
Hear all the throttle application from the BMW as he works through the keyhole turn. Like I say, there's a bunch of grip differences there. Plus, it falls off as you go further down the hill. You start losing camber.
That's what they call balancing it on the throttle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a fun corner. It really is. It's such a fun corner.
Ferraganio trying to figure out a way here to sneak through, but doing it with a lot of
He's
respect
been wanting
thus
to
far.
get up
Yeah,
in
he
there.
has.
Just hasn't been able to get there yet, but he's thinking about it. You can tell. Takes a better line through the bottom here. But like I say, catching somebody and getting by is two different things.
As he's found, Ferraganio has. Nobody really that close behind him, so he can just focus all of his attention on getting around. A puff of smoke on the upshifts there from the Toyota.
I've been watching that too. I suspect if he got by the Toyota, he would be able to drive away. I think it's the faster car, but that's once your momentum's broke, you run the same speed. Speaking of outside pass,
Yeah, trying
not
it.
going to make it there though. Maybe into one would be a better opportunity, but he's not close enough this lap.
Well, Missouri has trimmed that margin dose down from almost 6 seconds to 3.8.
Wow, it cut it in half, so
Yeah.
pretty amazing. And it's not traffic related, I don't think, either.
No.
4 to go.
Now that may be Moser a little bit, sensing I've got a big lead. I don't want to push these tires too hard. I'll give up a smidge.
Could be tire related, for sure.
Sort of driving the margin a little bit here, maybe.
Lotus still looks very well balanced. Look at that, there's that misfire.
Yep.
Definitely hear it when it goes to throttle. And that's costing him some tenths. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, without doubt, yeah.
It's not getting any worse, but definitely every time he goes onto the throttle, it stumbles.
Let's see, what did we do on that lap? Well, he ran 2 tenths quicker than Moser on that lap.
That could be Moser's tires going away, too. Lotus is on rails. I mean, you can see he's working every bit of the racetrack.
3 laps to go now.
And with that misfire, that's not helping his cause any.
At all. Oscar Jackson now has drifted backward to the tune of about 6 seconds behind Mugeri. David Brandon, the second of the Krug-Speed Lotuses, sits 4th. Number 3, another 4 seconds back, and then Tobel, and that number 4 Solstice, sits in 5th. And then it sounds clean in spots.
Yeah, that time.
It's very intermittent.
I think it's what. There's missing bad there.
Yep. Out of Thunder Valley, up into 11.
Yeah, it's got a little misfire all the way through the rev range now, it sounds like.
Boy, it does stick nicely, though.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely got good grip. But it's missing all the way through the range now.
2 laps remaining. The margin comes down by another 3 tenths, under 3.5 seconds now, but 2 laps.
Yeah, Moser would have to make a mistake to lose that much ground.
Yep, exactly.
Or have an issue of some sort. Moser's lap is a good lap.
Yeah, it was his best, a 35 flat, a 35.031. Najari's best, a 34.792, is the fast lap of the race that he just ran. So both of them running their best lap times.
It's going to run out of time, unfortunately.
That's it.
It's going to end up a lap or 2 short.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear it misfiring through there again. Oh, he's made up a bunch of ground.
He has on this time around, absolutely.
This could get interesting. If Moser's got any kind of a problem with that car, I'm not saying he does, but the Lotus is coming.
It is. For Moser, he must be thinking it's a sense of deja vu all over again, although he's got a lot more of a margin over Mugeri than he did over Reynolds in the E-Prod race.
Working white flag lap when they get to it up ahead here. Got one more to go. And the Lotus made up a lot of ground, but I don't think so.
And there is the crew looking, watching.
He's definitely hustling that
talking
car.
to him, you bet. 34.597. That's a new fast lap for Mugeri. To a 35.3. He trimmed a second.
Oh, in traffic. And Moser's in traffic up ahead.
He's going to get 1, but not 2. Oh, nice job by that lap traffic to just open the door to let him through. Class act.
Very, very nice. Give him my attaboy for that one.
Yeah, it's number 20 on Mark Krellen. Just a superb job, Mark, and the Spraden Brothers Welding and Nissan BF Goodrich 200 SER.
And the Lotus gets by cleanly as well, so that's nice and orderly. But I don't think he's going to have what it takes to make up that much of a deficit.
Yeah.
Well, it's closer, though.
It definitely is. But like you said, it's just a matter of not enough laps.
Yeah, he's going to end up a lap shy, I think. He's going to be right up there close. But
And I think Moser is just driving the gap a little bit, making sure he's got the tires.
And you hear that misfire in Lotus. It's not helping that.
Last time here up into turn 11 and the carousel. And for Joe Moser, in the E-Prod race, led almost the entire race, and except the final third, here in STU, feeds it onto the front straight, and Joe Moser claims this time he gets the national championship. Tremendous run by Joe. This is only his second runoffs, and in this second one, he's got 2 medals, one of them gold. That's impressive stuff.
Absolutely.
For 22-year-old Cameron Mugeri in that Krug Speed Lotus. Great story there as well for Cameron. His second runoffs.
That was a great effort with the misfire to be able to make up ground on the lead car like that. It's pretty amazing.
It truly was. He was second at Daytona last year in the T1 category. And today, Touring 1 gets another silver medal to add to his collection in STU. Third was Oscar Jackson, who had a very eventful race, started in 6th and was quickly up into that top 3 and stayed there throughout. David Brand, 4th in the team Krug Speed Lotus number 3, completing your top 5. The Pontiac Solstice, the Novi Wall discount tire entry of number 4, Charles Tobel.
Happy man right there.
You bet.
Joe Moser, double duty, running 2 different classes in the same car, and medaling in both.
And you could see after the E-Prod race in his interview, he was pretty gutted. This will make up for that a lot.
Yeah. Yes, it will.
Waving to the workers and the crowd, and there is a big one here.
Big both.
Big
amount of workers, some 500 strong, and a big crowd. And why not? I mean, what a beautiful weekend it's been. It's going to stay.
And 28 races.
And for the runoffs at Mid-Ohio, I remember it snowing here a few years back.
Absolutely.
Not this week.
Yep. I remember we used a compressed lens shot when it was snowing. It wasn't very heavy snow, but that lens made it look like a blizzard, and we used it for our open and said, you never know what you'll run into here.
That's a fact. I have driven runoffs in the snow before myself, so it's not the first time it happened, but it did happen.
Here he comes. It happened for Joe Moser in his second race of the day, stepping up onto the top of the box and getting that gold medal, and that means, of course, he's going to get an interview from our Jeff Lepper as soon as he stops and gets that helmet off. And, whole different attitude when you win.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
Get that safety net down.
There's Cameron pulling up behind him in second place there in the Lotus.
There's Mr. Jackson coming up and stopping. And, second time's a charm, Jeff, from silver to gold.
Well, Joe Moser, in this car about an hour and a half ago, you got second, but you're able to do one better here in STU.
No, that definitely makes me feel a little better this time. That's a lot. It's a lot to do 2 classes one day. Real tired. The car's doing great, though. I'm surprised. I mean, we've had a little mechanical issues earlier in the year, and ran like a charm today, and just excited. Finally, first gold. So feel excellent.
Well, in his second runoffs appearance, he's trying to see on the schedule where else he could race this car.
Yeah, exactly. He's loving how this is flowing right now for him. And he controlled that race just beautifully, Doris.
He did, no doubt. I mean, that was, and I agree with you, what you said earlier, that the fact that he's run one race already today, gets him up on the game. He was ready to go at the start and did everything he had to do to make that win.
And our pole sitter, but for maybe a misfire, could have been a little bit closer. He did get fast lap of the race, Jeff. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, maybe.
Jerry, you started on pole position. It sounded like the car had a little bit of a miss, but you're able to still get a podium.
Yep, it had a decent little miss, but I just kept with it. I dropped back a little bit just from a little bit of contact that happened, and I just put my head down and just put as many fast laps down as I could to try to catch it.
Now tell us about the advantage you think you had going into this race being rear-wheel drive versus the front-wheel drive Honda that was next to you.
I mean, advantage-wise, I thought I had a little bit coming in, but running with the guys for 2 weeks now, it was good. They got the power down just as good as I did. They handled about as good as me, so it was a good, fair race, I thought.
Well, Cameron ties his best finish in runoffs history with second place.
That he does. It was a tremendous run by that young man and a fast lap that blew everybody else right out of the water at that 134.597 lap.
And with a misfire.
Yeah, that's impressive stuff as we watch Joe now with the crew member on board holding that flag and celebrating a gold medal and a national championship.
That is just the best feeling in the world to be able to go out there with your crew guy and, do a lap. Wave all the corner workers that are out there that doing all this for you for nothing. They don't get paid, and they're out there and make this event happen. This is a huge event when you got 600 plus cars.
Indeed it is, and that means even getting a third place finish in front of a crowd like this with this kind of performance. And that's what happened with Oscar Jackson, Jeff. He's a busy guy this weekend running multiple classes too.
Well, Oscar Jackson Jr., you start your race off here weekend, 3 classes, able to get a third place here today.
Yeah, STU's the first one today, and we got a T4 coming up next, but we were at a bit of disadvantage today. I mean, we're the heavy car for the class. We're about 400 pounds heavier than everybody else, so it was an interesting dice with the Lotus. Man, he's real nimble. So, and then he has horsepower. So I did the best I could, and the BF Goodrich tires hung in there. It's hot out, and we ran them to the limit. It was a lot of fun, but got to thank everybody back at Jackson Racing. We got a whole crew watching back there. We got my mom back watching with a little party. We got a party out at Jackson Racing, so it's really good. But yeah, Jackson Racing, OS Geiken, 949 Racing, Porterfield Brakes, everybody involved, auto-tuned. It's huge, the support we get. And APR, we had a good aero all day until I had a little bit of a bump, it sounds like. I had some damage, but yeah, it was a rough race. It was hot.
Well, Oscar Jackson Jr. finishes third place where he finished last year at Daytona.
And he races for Jackson Racing. And put a great run in, and as he said, he'll be out in the last of the races on this first day of this 53rd running of the SCCA Runoffs. So he's going to have that little bit of track knowledge. But this is the start, and you can see Mugeri led it. Max Guy looking so fast early, but had that problem, that mechanical. And then it just got fierce, as the racing in STU always is. There's the moment by Guy. Did a heck of a job to control it.
Yeah, good save there with dead stick, no power to the engine at all.
And that, of course, allowed Mosier into the lead, and he controlled it from there on out, despite the good efforts, certainly of Mugeri and also Oscar Jackson. Some great racing in STU, and the national championship has been decided. For Dorsey Schrader, I'm Greg Kramer, and, of course, a big thanks to Jeff Leppard down in pit lane. Well done, bud. And a huge congratulations to our national champion. Well done, Joe Mosier.